Hi all. In EdPuzzle today to talk about quizzes and how to use EdPuzzle as a tool to give your students sort of little exit ticket quizzes. I've used them in the past in combination with a video. So they watch the video and then they take a short 5-question exit ticket quiz. But there's lots of uses that you can do with the quiz feature. It is new this year, and although we're well into the school year, it may be something you've not yet tapped into. So I just wanted to show you what it is. While we're here, I do also want to touch on something that has changed in EdPuzzle in the past probably few weeks. And that is, let me get moving here, is this category here called EdPuzzle Originals. So if I click on that, you can see this is a set of proprietary content is maybe the best way to explain it, that EdPuzzle has created. They're all EdPuzzle Originals, as the name implies. But the thing with them is they are, so let me just go into, say, social studies and U.S. history, and let me go ahead and grab a category. So they've essentially made this series of videos for this topic that I can use, but I can only use live with my students. So I cannot edit it. So I can't copy and edit it. I can't assign it. So it has kind of limited usage that you can play with it at all. Okay, you can even see here, this is locked. So I would want to even see if I'm able to show this with my students. Let me go ahead and just play this just out of curiosity. I am. So I can play this with students, right? But I can't assign it to them. So I can't even
take a look at this painting
in live mode with them. Okay, so that's just something new that's come out of EdPuzzle in the past few weeks. Don't want you to be confused by that. If you see that content and you're trying to engage with it, you're very limited in your engagement. Okay. All right, but let's get to what I wanted to tell you about today, which is quizzes. So there is a lot of content already built in here. Just like with videos, you could take somebody else's quiz, or I'm going to just go ahead and click on that for now. Or you can take, these quizzes that are there, and you can, let me go into social studies, and I could use those and assign them to my students. But what the primary use of this is going to be is that you're going to make your own quiz, right? And so I'm going to come up here to this add new button, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to create a quiz. You can see I can do multiple choice, I can do open-ended, and something that actually is new since I last used this is I could generate a poll. All right, let's just look at these first two types, because from that point you can do it. I'm just going to do a real simple quiz. And I don't need to capitalize pizza here. And I've got editing tools here. I can embed links and I can do math formulas. Okay, but I'm going to keep this simple. And pepperoni is the correct answer, of course. And I'm going to go ahead. And before I save that, actually, notice over here on the right, I do have some options. I can set a time limit that students have to complete this in. If I set a time limit, I can also make this gamified. So there becomes a leaderboard and they are rewarded not just for accuracy, but also for speed. If I'm more concerned with accuracy, I might turn these sorts of things off and let them have all the time that they need and not worry about appearing on some sort of a leaderboard somewhere. Okay. But that's obviously up to you, and that might change depending on the assignment. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And you can see here's sort of the settings that I did for that, but I can always go back and edit that and change that. Let's go ahead and add another question, and let's do an open-ended question. Okay. Again, over here, I've got a time limit. I can turn it on, the points on. That's just a toggle on or off to make it gamified if I want. And what's different with the open-ended is I could allow for audio responses. So if I want them to be able to click on the little microphone image and record their answer, speaking it as opposed to typing it, I would just need to toggle that on. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and save. That's it. Just going to do this nice 2-question one here. I'm going to rename this pizza. I'm going to save my title. And then I'm going to go ahead and I am going to finish that. You saw I could preview it. If I wanted to see with open-ended questions, you don't get the opportunity to type your answer, but you can at least see how your question looks. Okay. And now I can do very similar things that I can do when I've used a video, but let's just go ahead and assign this. So I've used the name that is given. I can change that though. I can enter some instructions for the students, assign a start date, assign an end date, end time, select a class that I want to assign this to, and go ahead and click on my next. I was thinking next was down in the bottom there. And then here are my additional choices. So I can give students multiple attempts as long as I have multiple choice questions as part of the assignment, which I do. I almost always turn this to 2 when I assign things, even my videos, just to give students the opportunity to improve upon their previous work. And this one, let's just keep it at 1. And here's where I mentioned that gamification. So I can turn on the leaderboard if I want this to be something where they're gamified, or turn that off. I'll leave it on just so you can see what it looks like. And this is where, even if I have set a time limit, I could turn that off and not have that on for students if I change my mind on that. And let's go ahead and assign that. All right. So there it is. That assignment is done, right? Let's go ahead and finish this off by viewing this as a student so you can see what it would look like if a student were now to take this quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and enter this. It's a pizza quiz with 2 questions. I'm going to go ahead and start. It gives me a little countdown timer. And here's my first question. What is the best pizza topping? Well, clearly that's pepperoni. Oh, I'm right, and I got 847 points for speed and accuracy. Next, open-ended. What is the, well, I know what it's going to be, best pizza restaurant. Well, I mean, no doubt here, right? Submit. Okay, thanks. I got 471 points for my speed, but this has not been graded yet because it is an open-ended question, and that's going to require teacher input. And I'm going to go ahead and submit my quiz, and there I can see that is my leaderboard. That's it. Yeah. Now, again, as I mentioned, I often do these in combination with a video, so I'll do a separate little instructional video to show you how that works.